Right, we're moving on to something completely different. It's like the Barbie double feature here that you talked about, Scott, because we're moving on to a new Irish film called Apocalypse Clown. Emma, go on, you introduce this to us.
Ireland is plunged into chaos as a technological blackout hits, and in the aftermath of this, a band of has-been clowns attempt to have one last hurrah. Here's a clip.
The world was done with clowning. It moved on to TikTok dances and live streaming hand jobs on the dark web. But none of that works now. Everything is obsolete except us.
The world is ours now. We're forming a troupe. Clownpedo. You know, like a torpedo of clowns.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Have we all seen this now? By the way, yeah.
No, I haven't had a chance yet.
Oh, you've not seen it, Andy.
I haven't seen it, not yet. No, I'm sorry. I really want to see it. I just have been so busy.
I'm going to lay my cards on the table here and say this is the funniest film I've seen in this whole year.
Right.
When, to be honest, there hasn't been that many comedies out in the cinema, but this one just had me falling about with some of the lines in there. The characters in here are just terrific, and there's one particular clown called Funzo, played by who plays it, Natalie Palamides, who I just thought was just hilarious, semi-psycho clown and whatever. And there was one scene in particular where they're driving along, the three of them in a little car, and one of them says, "You're going to kill us. Oh, you're going to kill us." And Funzo reaches over from the back seat, grabs the thing and says, "Oh, I'm going to kill us," and drives the car into the one sapling in the middle of this enormous great moor. And that had me. I mean, I was gone for like 5 minutes after that scene. And a lot of the stuff, it was a little bit hit and miss, as all comedies are. And I noticed there were about 4 different writers of the piece. But some of the stuff that came out, I thought was as quote-worthy as the likes of An Airplane. And I can just imagine a student audience watching this and having a whale of a time quoting the lines interminably for weeks afterwards. It's got 2 kind of statues, what they call human statues, who are out to get Funzo for revenge, and they're really funny. I love the line that said, "Human statues can always wait," which I thought was great. And there's just so many great lines here. Loved it. Emma, am I the only fan?
Of course you're not. I mean, I saw the screener title come up on my email, and I was like, "Ooh, Apocalypse Clown, yes." Instantly, yes. I was like, "I would like to see this, please." It was just as ridiculous as you would hope from that title. As you say, Funzo, definitely my favourite thing about the whole film. I'm not going to say she's my spirit animal, but I can get on board with some of her feelings about the world.
You've wanted to lurk in a dark tent as a child walks past, haven't you? And come out the tent and say, "Come and see my show."
I absolutely loved her interactions with people, where she's convinced that her way is the normal way to do things. I just loved it.
Yeah.
There were some bits where I was like, you should just lent hard into the nonsense and not try to have a plot of any description. I was maybe a little bit disappointed about the ending, but everything up until that was just ridiculous. And I absolutely adored it. And the thing that amused me when I was just having a look at stuff online, it's got 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Now, admittedly, obviously, it's a very niche audience of people that went, "Yes, please, I'd like to watch this screener." But still, they're my people.
I don't know where it's actually being screened, because I've not seen it. Is it at picture houses or something like that?
I would imagine
it's very limited distribution.
It's very indie.
Yeah. I think this is one that's probably going to do very well when it gets to streaming, but I don't think it's going to get a big audience out in cinemas. Yeah. Scott, you've seen it as well, haven't you?
I have seen this one. I had a good time as well with it. I didn't know what fully to expect with this. I think I had watched the trailer just to sort of see what I was getting myself into with this one. And I was like, okay, what is this nonsense? And it kind of is nonsense. It's low budget, dark comedy, but I do like dark comedy, and I was laughing out loud on several occasions. As you said, not all the jokes work, but the ones that do really work. You were mentioning Funzo the clown. She is hilarious. I loved that actress's performance. It's arguably one of my favourite supporting actress performance of the year, maybe at the moment. And it's, you mentioned about some of those lines I remember, but no, don't say the S word. You're a scary clown. Yeah, things like that. It's so simple. It shouldn't really be that funny, and yet in the context in the moment, hilarious.
It was.
It's just the road trip. The fact that these strange people, you've got the three clowns and the journalist, and they shouldn't mix. They shouldn't really mix well. Throw in those human statues as well, and it's chaotic. It's absolute madness. And then you see there's the random people living in the woods, and it just plays up on so many stereotypes from these types of films. There was one moment I was thinking, this is a little bit 28 Days, when they come out with a facility and there's nothing around, there's no one there. You think, what's happened to the world? And I was like, okay, is this trying to be highbrow? And then it would just do something extremely silly, and I was like, no, it's not. As I was alluded to there, the ending is a little bit anticlimactic, and I'm not entirely sure the writers knew a good way to finish this film. But just hearing you talk about it as well, and the fun in your voices, and even as I'm talking about it now, the original rating I thought that I was going to give it, I might have to bump it up a point, because it's just kind of fun. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
We're all like ducks in a vice. Quack. Yeah.
Can I ask, is it in league with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? Honey and Blood?
I have still not seen Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, you haven't seen that one?
No, I have heard.
Which Winnie the Pooh turns feral.
That does also sound amazing, and I will be watching that one.
That does sound,
you've got to see Winnie the Pooh and Kango and Piglet all turning feral and chaining up Christopher Robin and torturing him. It's just unbelievable.
I was just looking up some of my favourite quotes from the film here, and there's one where the guy played by David Earl, who of course was Brian in that wonderful Brian and Charles film from last year. I am Charles Petrescu. Yes. But he's trying to chat up his date Jenny. He says, I know a wonderful Italian, and he's got a great little hot dog stand. Oh, that was good. And regarding drug taking, one of them says, Angus Dayton used to call me the Dyson. Oh dear. Anyway, it scores on the doors. I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. Emma?
I feel bad because I was going to go 8. I am going to stick with 8. I mean, it's a very good 8.
Yeah. Scott?
Not going to be quite that bullshit. I was going to go 6, but I'll bump it up to a 7.
Oh. Don't blimey. What's that? 7? What were you? 8?
8.
Sorry, what do you say, Emma?
There's no maths.
8, 7, 8, 9. There's no maths again. We've done it again, right? So this gets a Flickering Dreams score of 8.0, making it a... And I'm expecting a good tweet on this from the director George Kane, because after I'd waxed lyrical on Twitter about this, he published summaries of everybody else's reviews, right, with stars against them, apart from mine. George, I'm going to send you a clip of this video, right? Publish.